So, can you tell me about your background, quick background, that what you do?
Sure. Yeah, sure, Rajat. So, Rajat, actually, I am working with BMC Remedy,
Okay,
and my total experience is about 12 years, and it is
okay,
completely in BMC Remedy. And now I'm
okay,
trying to switch from BMC to ServiceNow ITOM module. And
okay,
for switching, at least I need to showcase approx 8 years of experience in ITOM.
okay.
Although I have none in ServiceNow ITOM, but I need to show because otherwise I won't be getting the required package as per my experience.
Okay, so you work on Remedy or LDM?
Remedy.
So you are ITSM guy basically.
Actually, I'm working on CMDB from past 5 years.
Or CMDB also you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have any idea about service now, or we need to start from basics? How you want to start this?
So actually, I've done a few trainings
Mm-hmm.
from ServiceNow University itself. So I
Okay.
have done CS as well. And
Mm-hmm.
before, 2 years back, I prepared for ITSM interviews and scripting and all. So
Mm-hmm.
that was not fruitful at all.
Okay.
So currently, I'm looking toward CMDB ITOM itself because from past 5 years I'm working in BMC CMDB, so I can relate it more with ITOM in service now, and I have
Mm-hmm.
bit very bit understanding of EDDM also.
Okay.
So it would be it would be easier for me to match my CMDB experience with service now ITOM experience.
Yeah, that sounds, I think, fair,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. So maybe this session I'll talk about uh, how we maybe handle different environments or the basics. Since we have already seen CMDB, maybe I'll go through the CMDB things again. That you know about classes. What are the classes and attributes, all those stuff.
Yeah, I know about classes and attributes and principle. So there are few things which are a bit different in ServiceNow as compared to my Remedy, my BMC. So there is no concept of principal CI class in Remedy. So I'm not
Okay.
aware of those terms in ServiceNow.
Mm,
Like we have classes, we have datasets, we have attributes. Like in
mm,
ServiceNow, we have IRE. In Remedy, we have reconciliation engine and normalization engine.
mm-hmm.
So they both work in similar manner, but yeah, still it would be good if we have, if we start from basics. So I believe I have shared the course or content
Yeah, I
with
have
Alter.
I have the content with me. So since this is a demo session, right? So I don't have the instance with me. Maybe I'll go through some theoretical stuff, and then maybe in the next sessions I can launch instance from the ServiceNow University, and then we can go take the things from there, right?
Yeah, so Rajat, one more thing before we
Mm,
start on this demo.
mm.
So would you be able to cover those topics in depth, right? So you got my requirement.
Yeah, I got your requirement, and since I'm also a ITOM guy, right? So I know what it takes to get you a job in market. So maybe we'll stress on those items only, which usually being asked by the interviewer, right?
Right,
So
right.
that
Uh,
you can answer those queries, right?
yeah, so if you don't mind, may I know your experience, complete experience
So
in
my
ITOM?
experience is also 12 years, total
Oh,
12, yeah, 12 years experience. So 6 years I'm working in ITOM. I'm basically certified in discovery, event management, and service mapping. And
oh.
yeah, so and I've done multiple greenfield implementation projects. Uh,
Yeah, yes. So I've heard a lot about greenfield projects. What are those? I'm not sure. I'm not aware of those terms, like
so
greenfield.
greenfield means that it's a fresh implementation. It's a terminology used for fresh implementation. I mean, customer does not have the service now item, and you went there and set up the item for client. That's called greenfield implementation.
Oh, okay. Got your point now.
Yeah, it's not it's something technical, but it's just a terminology for the implementation. That's it.
Oh, okay. So, like in my case, as of now, like my client is migrating from Remedy to ServiceNow. So
Uh-huh.
that is a greenfield, right?
Greenfield, yes, greenfield, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. not
Yes.
encountered. So
So
sure.
I did a similar engagement also where we moved from ADDM to ServiceNow. That's why I asked you, right? Are you working on ADDM or not, right? So BMC also has a discovery tool called ADDM, right?
Yes.
They can also discover same set of things what we can discover, right?
Right.
So I also had a requirement to move from BMC products to the ServiceNow product. So that is also I have done in one of my projects. So yeah, maybe I
Oh,
think I should
so
be able, yeah,
that
I
would be a
should,
great advantage for me. Yeah, yeah, I can relate that.
yeah, so I should be able to help you, yeah, on that, right?
Yeah, because it would be very much helpful for me so that it would be able to, I would be able to show my smooth transition. Like I migrated from CMDB and ADDM to ServiceNow and how it is done. So it would be an advantage, like a migration project, a whole implementation project. So it will be two in one.
Yeah, please, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Rajat,
so,
I am good. We can start.
okay. So, as you know that the ServiceNow is a SaaS platform, right? SaaS means that it's a cloud based setup. So if you have seen the history, we had the IBM products called Maximo and monitoring products there, right? In the past,
Right.
Maximo also kind of a ITSM system where we were tracking all the incident problem change, right?
Yeah,
And then we had a monitoring products also, not similar to ITOM, but yeah, kind of getting those data in the warehouse table. So those products were the Tivoli monitoring, and then they have the Netcool also, which is similar to our ServiceNow event management system. And
right,
they have the network monitoring tool also, which is called ITNM. And we also have some graph connector which can be used to pull the data, right? So the transition happens from the on-prem systems where we had the IBM products. We used to install the softwares on the servers, physical servers, virtual servers, most of the time are physical servers, and then get the
yes,
data. And then the BMC introduced the remedy. Initially, it was also on-prem, and then I think later on they also moved to the cloud environments or SaaS environments.
right,
And now we have the ServiceNow as a major market player, which has overtaken I think all the existing competitors. So,
right,
what makes ServiceNow stand out in the market on a one platform? You can do any sort of stuff, right? You can, when I say sort of stuff, you can also do the IT operation management, in which you can do the discovery, service mapping, event management. You can also do the integrations. You can also do your ITSM works for incident problem change. You can also do the vulnerability response. VR is also there. Then you have the grievance is also there. Now they also have the APM, which is your application performance monitoring tool systems, right? So different sort of specs ServiceNow provides you. That's why it's a leading uh, player in the market now. And so as I said, my major experience is on ServiceNow ITOM product, where since I also had the background of monitoring and the ITOM, the Tivoli product, right? So I was also able to correlate to the ServiceNow ecosystem, the ITOM ecosystem. That's why it was easy for me to understand how it works, and what to do when some sort of requirement comes to your way, right? So I think
yes,
since you have already seen the environment, you will also able to correlate, and you also have the access of the university, right?
right,
So you would be able to practice there on the labs and maybe make most out of these sessions, I believe, right?
right,
Right. So the ITOM core is a CMDB. Basically, CMDB is a configuration management database where you store all sort of CIs. So when I say CI, the CI can be anything. CI can be your logical CI, or CI can be your physical CIs also. So when I say logical CIs,
mhm,
logical CI means your a business application, your application service, or your service offering. Those can be your logical CI, since they don't exist on the ground, right? We just made up in order to showcase our infrastructure. So those are your logical CIs, and your physical CIs or virtual CIs are the ones which you are actually discovering, like your Windows server, Linux servers, your storages, or your network devices, right?
Right.
There is another part which runs in the parallel to CMDB, which is called the asset part, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
asset also gets stored in the CMDB, but does not extend from the CMDB base table. We have the different hierarchy for the asset, basically the asset ALM underscore asset table, which stores all the asset information. So
Yes.
there is a the basic difference between the asset and the CI is that asset contains your financial aspects. Like if you have purchased a printer, now the cost of printer, the life cycle of printer, or the who is the owner of printer, right? So those
Mm-hmm.
sort of information asset usually contains, and CI only contains the configurable attributes of the asset, like the printer IP address, printer host name, printer MAC address, or printer serial number, right? So
Right.
this is the common difference between the asset and the CMDB. This is also being asked in interview, that what's the difference between asset and CMDB, right? So
Yes, Rajat. And Rajat, sorry to interrupt. You mentioned two new terms to me. In CMDB, we have just application, but you mentioned technical application and business application also.
yeah,
So what are those? I'm not aware.
so that will maybe we'll cover in depth when we talk about CSDM, right? Those are the part of CSDM
Okay,
basically.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So CSDM 5.0 will talk about the journey, how to do crawl, walk, run, fly,
Yeah, these are the
and
phases, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, phases, right? And what needs to be done before you get into the CSDM shoes, right? So maybe we'll
Ah,
talk about that, yeah, once we go to the CSDM stages, right? Or CSDM
got it.
piece, right? Right,
Yes, yes,
right.
completely.
So yeah, so as I said, as I told you that the basic difference between the asset and CI. So the asset and CI. So CI most probably gets created by a discovery, or so we have many ways to populate a CI. It
Mhm.
can populate. We can populate it via discovery. Discovery is a automated setup which scans your systems and get a data from there.
Mhm.
Uh, and then you have the service graph connectors. Also, service graph connectors are the plugins basically. ServiceNow gives you a plugins for some sort of applications like your SCCM or your JAMF or your SolarWinds, right? So for those sort of applications, those sort of endpoints, you have the plugins which are called service graph connector.
Yeah.
So those service graph connector basically we need to set up the connections with the databases of the third party applications. Like for SCCM, it's a JDBC connections, right? Uh,
Mhm.
for JAMF also, it's a JDBC connections, right? So you supply the credentials there. The query is already there in the out of the box. When I say out of the box means that the things which comes as a default system. So when you have first system or when you install a
Mhm.
plugin, the things which comes with the plugin are called out of the box. This is also being used. A very common
Okay,
term called out of the box. So
okay.
yeah, so on the service graph connector, maybe I'll cover in more details when we talk about service graph connector. So
Yeah.
service graph connector, you can populate the CI, you can populate a CI via discovery, you can populate a CI via the ACC agent is also there, which is agent. Discovery is agentless data population mode of data population, and
Mhm.
ACC is the agent data mode of population. So where you have to install the agent on the Windows or Linux machine or the Mac machines, and then that will supply your data. That's how ACC works. So ACC does not have much market requirement since people are already covering pretty much via discovery or service graph method. So I have not seen customers are more keen to use ACC since it
Okay.
require more money and a separate plugin for that.
Yeah.
So we'll stick around the discovery and service graph connectors just to give you a gist that how do we pull the data and how do we manage the rules around the data being pulled by different sources, right?
Yes.
Okay. So whenever a CI got created in the CMDB, the corresponding asset also gets created on the LM asset table. So the asset and CI works in sync basically. So asset also gets populated by a discovery. As I said,
Mhm.
the first insertion happen on the CMDB, then the sync happened with the asset table, and there is also a separate process to populate the assets. when you procure a laptop, so there's an automation flow which comes into system and create an asset in your asset table, right? Or maybe same in case of printer also. So it's called the ASN process. Basically, they have the automated flow or workflow or the flow designer running in the backend. Whenever the IT team or whenever the inventory procure a laptop, basically they try to create an asset saying that okay, we have the asset available in our inventory, and then the asset state is whether it's in stock or it's already installed or it's maybe decommissioned or it's stolen, right? So all different states of asset being managed in the asset table,
Mhm.
and the CI states are being managed in the configuration item table basically.
Right.
Okay, so these are the basic difference between the asset and the CI
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have a different sort of CIs, basically different sort of classes which we discover. So when I say class is nothing, just a table. What we refer in normal database as a table, we
Mm-hmm.
refer that in the ServiceNow as a ecosystem as a class basically. So
Okay.
class will have the schemas. So table will have a schema in the databases. Similar to that, class will also have a schemas. Those schemas are called attributes basically, and those attributes holds the information whatever being pulled by a ServiceNow discovery or the setup which is responsible to pull the data, right?
Yes.
uh, there are two type of attributes. One is soft attributes, one is discoverable attributes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So discoverable attribute, its name suggests that are the ones which are being pulled by automation or by discovery or by other integrations, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the soft attributes are the one which cannot be discovered, like your support group, your change group,
Yes.
or your approval group, right? So
Right.
those sort of information cannot be pulled via discovery or via any integration. So those are called soft attributes basically. So we need to populate it via some other way or manual, or there is some concept called dynamic CI groups. We will talk about that also.
Yeah.
So these are the type of attributes what we have, and all the attributes are being stored in the dictionary table, which is called the sys underscore dictionary table, where we have all sort of attributes which are being stored. And so ServiceNow ecosystem works on the reference basis basically. If
Mm-hmm.
you have seen the environment, right? If you have
Yeah.
so if there's on a one record, if you go to a list view on a one record, there can be n number of table mapped, right? Like
Right.
location does not stored on a particular server record, right? Location is stored on a location table, right? So
Right.
if you click on the location record or on the particular server record, it will redirect to the location table, right? So ServiceNow ecosystem works on the reference basis. Basically, we refer the different CIs to different classes, different attributes, so that duplicacy can be avoided, right?
Right.
We don't create an attribute for each and every class. Most of the attributes get extended from the parent class, right?
Yes.
So the ServiceNow works on the parent-child relationship. So you have the parent class, which is the hardware for us basically. So base class is CMDB CI, but we
Yeah.
don't go on that level because it contains a tons of information, right? So
Right.
our reference point start from this the hardware table basically. The hardware table contains all sort of informative data, which is being
Mm-hmm.
used in a different across the organizations.
Yes.
Okay, okay, so the hardware table is a parent class for us. So whatever attributes we have created in the hardware table, those attributes will get extended to all the child classes, right? And then you can also create some attributes on top of the child classes also, because there are many attributes which are a class specific attributes also. Like for the network class, there's attribute called internet facing or not, or maybe bandwidth we are trying to discover, right? Or something else we are trying to
Right.
discover, right?
Right.
So the attribute based class based attribute also can be there, right? But the 90% of attributes come from the top layer only. We don't have to create anything on the child layers because we can consume all those attributes, right? Only I would say 5%, no, only 5%, 5-10% attributes we have to create on the child layer basically.
Okay, Rajat. So whatever attribute we create on table, like the custom attributes which we create. So
Hmm.
for those attributes, does discovery populate the data, or is there any a different way to do it?
So it depends basically whether those attributes are discoverable or not, right? Like you want to discover uptime, suppose, right? For a
Yeah.
server, right? Okay. For
Right.
uptime, we don't have the attribute. basically. So, okay, we created a custom attribute, right? Now,
Yeah.
if you want to populate that, you have to customize the discovery patterns, basically.
Okay. So I mean, we can do it if we want.
You can do it, yes, but you have to supply it somewhere that how you want to populate the attributes.
Okay.
You have to manipulate the environment somewhere, customize it,
Okay.
just to tell it that how do you populate it, basically. How do you want to populate it?
Yeah. Got
Okay,
your point.
it can be either by a business rule also. You might be pulling it from some other tables within ServiceNow. It can be either customizing the pattern also, right? It's up to you. How do you see it fitting in your existing environment?
So, for ITOM person like you and me, do we need to know the scripting of business rules as well?
See, it depends basically. Uh, good to know basically. Good to know, but it's not that without knowing it, you will not able to proceed basically. But
Okay.
but sometimes it's required you to build some business rule to fulfill some requirements, or maybe flow designer, right?
Yeah.
So that also you need. But I think the common business rule what people are using in the ITOM, they are only available in the community basically.
Oh, okay.
So
Then
you
that's
can pull it
fine.
from there, yes.
Yeah. Then that's
But
fine.
the basic you should know basically what is inside, what is update. You should know
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you can build the. Sometimes you need to build something to incorporate in the system, right? So you should know basically about the basics of those things. Not in advance, but yeah, basics you should know.
Yeah. Basic how it works and why it works.
Yes, you
Why it
should
is
know.
there. Yeah. 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 That I know.
Okay. So I was telling about the attributes, right? So custom attributes, yeah, you can populate it. So usually we don't suggest client to create a custom attribute because uh, I have done some engagements where customer has gone so far in the customization mode that it's not possible to bring them back on the same environment, right? So we
Oh.
have to build a separate environment and then shift everything to the new environment, right? So when I say shift, we don't migrate the data from one CMDB to another CMDB. We try to discover same on the another environment.
Oh. Okay.
And the delta, then whatever delta we don't see, then we'll work with client that okay, these are not being discovered from these many times in your previous environment. Are they still
Mm-hmm.
active or they are decommissioned or what's wrong with them, right? Or maybe there's some
Mm-hmm.
core challenges there, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like lift and shift. Okay, it's like you are setting up a parallel environment
A
basically.
whole
It's
new
a it's
environment
yes,
basically.
it's a pilot environment basically.
Yes.
You are setting up there, right?
Right.
Right. So the migration only happens maybe on the incident side where you want to migrate the general tables or the audit tables, right? You want to keep the record on the previous incident side. That can happen there. But on the CMDB side, on the foundation side, no migration happens usually.
Okay.
Okay, we have to build it from scratch.
Yeah. Makes sense
Okay,
now. Yes.
okay. And so foundation also needs to be there. So when I say foundation, foundation covers your location data, your company data, basically, and your support groups, your users, right? So foundation data needs to be solid in order to support your entire ecosystem of ServiceNow because
Mhm.
the access also needs to be given based on the support group and the
Good.
assignment group and the users availability, right? So whenever you get a requirement to set up the ITOM, you need to first make sure that the foundation is there, right? And that is not your job basically. That's the job of the ITSM admin, or you would have a separate ServiceNow admin basically, who is taking care of all those foundation data.
Okay.
Okay, you need to make sure that you have the foundation data available in ServiceNow basically. I
Yes, Rajat.
believe you must have seen those user tables or those
Yeah,
group
I've seen
tables,
those.
right? Right.
Yeah.
You've seen those things, right? So those things should be available basically.
Yes.
Okay, if that is not available, then it will be a problematic. Basically, you cannot assign a CI to the group, right?
Group. Yes.
How it's supposed to populate in your ITSM form if you don't have the assignment group populated for the CI, right?
Right. Right.
Where
Exactly.
the incident will go, right? So the incident mapping will also not work if you don't have the groups populated there, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yes.
these are the basic stuff uh, should be there before you start implementations basically.
Mhm.
And then so once you understand, okay, once you grab the information from client, so how do we grab it? Basically, we try to get the inventory from them, that list of subnets, what you have the list of subnets basically. And if you can also give us the type of devices. Sometimes what
Yes.
happens that you're trying to discover something, you're not getting anything right. So You need to understand what you are trying to discover basically.
Yeah,
If you don't know that, you will not able to troubleshoot that why you're not able to discover something, right? Right.
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 Exactly.
So you need to get the in-depth information from the client, which sometimes they also don't have. It happens with the clients also. They don't have the grip on their environment, right? So,
Right.
so in that situation, whatever best you can discover, you discover them. But you can, you
Mhm.
just tell them upfront that this is something I don't see it happening, working. You let us know, or let us know, or you talk with your network team and let me know that what is sitting on this particular subnet, what is sitting on particular device. Okay,
Yes.
or maybe you assess the discovered data and see what percentage we have discovered so far. Because
Yes.
you need to know something about your environment, right? This cannot be a case that you know nothing about your environment, right?
Right.
Unless how do you judge our work, that what we have done, right?
Right.
Right,
Exactly. Yeah.
right. So those sort of questions you need to ask them basically,
Okay.
and then once they have the answer, basically, then you can work around on those stuff basically. That okay, this is what I have done, this is what is missing, then this is how I'm going to address this basically.
Okay.
Okay, now you get the inventory. Okay, so
Yeah.
once you get the inventory, now your job is to figure out that okay, what are the type of locations we have in inventory. Okay,
Mhm.
geographically you have to understand that what is the geography of a client, that is it a US client or UK client or Canada client, right? And
Yeah.
what are and where, what are the places it is having its data center basically, or the locations basically.
Yes.
Okay, and based on that you'll set up your mid servers.
Right.
Okay, and
So,
mid server, yeah,
placement of mid-server is also important.
it is very important because if you put it too far, it will consume your bandwidth, or it will not
Okay.
try to reach. It will not able to reach there because there are a lot of firewall ports needs to be open between one location to other location, right?
Right. Right.
Okay, if you're sitting in Bangalore and if your server is Bangalore and my mid is in Delhi, right? You may need
Mhm.
to open multiple ports between Delhi to Bangalore, right?
Yes.
But if it is having locally, even to Hyderabad, right? You would be able to access it because it's near location, right?
Yes.
It's good practice to have it on the same VLAN, but sometimes it's not possible to have these many servers, which server, because you have a vast network sometimes, right? So you try to put it somewhere near to that particular network so that you can access it with least number of firewall hops, right?
Right.
Right. So maybe we'll talk about in detail when we go to the mid server setup, right? Have you
Right.
ever tried to install mid server?
Yeah, actually, I don't have infra at my home. I just have one laptop.
Hmm.
So I tried installing it over the Docker, but
Hmm.
it's about 1.5 year back. But on Docker, it was failing, and I forgot the error as well.
So Docker
But
has a different image, right? Docker, I don't think so. You would be able to install on Docker basically. They
yeah,
have the package for Docker differently, I guess, if I remember correctly. But
yeah, it is for
you
Linux.
yeah,
Previously, it was for Windows and Linux, but now on the service now it is showing only for Linux. So I
yeah.
haven't tried it yet from past 1.5 year. But yeah, previously I tried and I failed.
You can also access the AWS environment, right? It's free for 1 year basically.
AWS,
So
yeah,
AWS, yes, yes. Or Azure also you can do. Azure you can do. Maybe or AWS you can do whatever suits for you, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you can get the environment. You can spin up the VM basically,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
there you can. Do you have the developer portal?
Yeah, I have.
You have, right? So
Yeah,
developer portal, maybe next session, maybe start from the mid servers, right? How do we install it and how do you access it, right?
yeah, yeah.
And right, okay. I think I need to stop now. This, I
Yeah.
think the
Just one more
introduction.
thing, Rajat.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, let me share my experience,
Hmm,
which I had 2 years back,
hmm,
regarding the interviews. So
hmm,
I have given multiple interviews on ITSM,
hmm,
and just to try something on ITOM, I studied a bit about
hmm,
ITOM, like mid-serve
hmm,
and phases of ITOM and all.
hmm.
So they asked me some very much tricky questions regarding ITOM. So the
Do
basic questions they asked was the phases of like Shazam, probe, and all.
hmm, hmm,
So I
hmm,
was able to answer at that time.
hmm,
In between, the interview asked me the use of mid server. I told him what is mid
hmm,
server, why it is used.
hmm,
Then he asked me, can we install mid server on cloud? So I read it somewhere. Yes, we can install it on cloud.
hmm,
And then uh, follow-up question on that was, if we can install mid server on cloud,
Hmm.
and the basic use of mid server is to separate the infra of client with that of cloud of service now, and
Hmm.
what the use of installing mid server on cloud, like we are removing the sole purpose of mid server, if that is the case. So I got confused, like uh,
Why we are why we are removing the sole purpose? It's there. So if you have if you have the Google Cloud or the AWS or the what is Azure in your environment,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's not like that the every client is on 100% cloud, right? They have a
yeah,
mix of on-prem and cloud environment, right? They have physical server also, right? Right,
yes,
and they also have the Kubernetes there, right?
right.
Right. So they have the variety of environment, right? So when you have something on the AWS environment, you have to set up the mid server on the AWS environment, right? So that no firewalls requires to open, right? And they also don't allow you to access from outside the AWS in some cases, right? So
Right.
the purpose will be served because you have the mix and match of the environment, right? And based on that only you are trying to set up your mid servers, right?
Oh, so by the on-prem mid server, we cannot discover the cloud infrastructure. Is that the
You
case?
can you can discover, but it's a best practice to have it on the cloud itself, basically.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
it's not
yeah,
like you have to you need to open the ports from your
mhm,
on-prem mid server to the cloud, which can be challenging, right? So it's better you have it within the cloud so that there is no firewall between the mid server and the server.
right. Yeah, this is somewhat, uh, manageable to answer in the interview. And
Yeah,
yeah,
because
one more
yeah.
question which he asked is about this from the another company now.
Mm.
He asked me why we cannot use same mid server on two different ServiceNow instances. I said this is not the best practice to, although we
So
can use it, but we should not use it. And he said, why?
so you cannot use it because you need to supply a URL to a service now, right?
Yeah,
You can only supply one
on single
URL,
URL.
right? Right.
Right.
And how people usually manage is basically so some clients we don't get a dedicated mid server for our non-prod environment, right? So
Yes.
what we do basically we try to install another mid server in a separate folder on the same virtual machine basically.
Oh, okay.
So two folder can host two mid servers. Then we will have a two instances running on the same virtual machine basically.
Oh,
So
oh,
one
okay.
instance can talk to your production, and one other instance can talk to your dev or test, whatever you want to connect.
Yes, yes, Rajat. This is a very good answer. I mean, he
Yeah.
would be impressed if I would have told this answer at that time. So, and right, I'm very curious about the other terms like event management and orchestration. So we would
Yeah.
be having a practical labs on that, right?
Yeah. So I'll try to get it from the now learning lab basically. Since I don't have the personal lab there, so I'll try to see how we can run it on the now learning. Okay. They also have some sort of labs available or things available there. Right. We'll try to do it there only basically.
Yeah. And regarding the real world troubleshooting scenarios as well, Rajat, because
Mm.
that would be very
So
much.
you have gone through so many interviews, right? So I'll try to share my experiences, and if you also like to ask questions, right? So if you have note down somewhere what questions you
Uh,
have been asked and where you are not able to answer properly, right? So I
so
can
Rajat,
answer those questions.
I have been appeared for two interviews of ITOM, but several for ITSM. So ITOM, I don't have that much experience of interviews, but for ITSM, I have multiple lists, but that is not relevant with
Yeah,
our
yeah.
course
So
right now.
I'll try to share my experiences that where I've been grilled by the clients and how you can answer those questions, right? So I'll try to maybe prepare on that at the end of the sessions, right? Or maybe
Yeah,
at the end of these sessions we can go through the revise the topics and see what questions can be asked from those
right,
topics, right? We can do that
right.
also.
Right. And for troubleshooting also, if you have some real world scenarios, like in an interview, they definitely gonna ask, uh, what is your latest migration project, or what is your latest integration project or implementation project, and what type of troubleshootings you have done, or what type of challenges you have faced doing those implementation or migration or integration.
Yeah, so I'll fill you in with the details, right? That what sort of challenges we usually face, right?
Okay, okay.
Okay, I'll share those information with you.
Sure, 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 Rajat. That would be great.
Okay. I think I
Yeah,
need to log off
yeah,
now.
sure,
We'll connect tomorrow on this.
sure, Rajat.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.